Watercolor painting for absolute beginners is an exciting and rewarding creative outlet that allows individuals to explore their artistic potential in a relaxed and enjoyable way. This medium is known for its fluidity, transparency, and unique ability to create beautiful, vibrant effects. Whether you're drawn to watercolor for its bright colors or its dreamy, soft textures, the good news is that getting started is simpler than you might think. First, you'll need some basic supplies, including watercolor paints, brushes, watercolor paper, and a container of water. High-quality watercolor paper is essential, as it's designed to hold the water and pigments properly without warping. Choose 100% cotton paper for the best results, as it's durable and has excellent absorbency. Brushes come in different shapes and sizes, and for beginners, a basic set with a round and flat brush will suffice. These brushes will allow you to experiment with various techniques, from detailed lines to broad washes. Before you dive into painting, it's important to understand the basic principles of watercolor. Watercolor paints are transparent, meaning the white of the paper will show through, creating a luminous effect. To achieve different levels of intensity in your work, you can vary the amount of water you use. Adding more water to your paint will create a lighter, more translucent color, while using less water will result in a more vibrant, concentrated hue. This is a fundamental aspect of watercolor, as it allows for a wide range of effects from soft gradients to bold strokes. One essential technique to master is wet-on-wet painting, which involves applying wet paint to a wet surface. This method allows colors to bleed and blend into each other, creating soft, seamless transitions. It's perfect for backgrounds or abstract paintings where you want a fluid, flowing effect. To practice this, simply wet a section of your watercolor paper with clean water and then apply pigment onto it. Watch as the paint spreads and mixes in unpredictable ways. This is the magic of watercolor. Another technique is wet on dry, which involves applying wet paint to dry paper. This method creates sharper, more defined edges, ideal for adding details to your painting once you've established a background. As you begin to experiment with your watercolor paints, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Watercolor is a forgiving medium, and part of the beauty of this art form lies in its unpredictability. If a stroke goes awry or a color turns out too dark, you can simply add more water to dilute the paint, or blot it with a paper towel to lift some of the pigment. As a beginner, it's helpful to practice on scrap paper before starting your final piece to build your confidence and get familiar with how the paints react. A common challenge for beginners is learning how to control water and paint. You may find that the paint bleeds into areas where you didn't intend for it to go. This is normal, and with practice, you'll learn how to control the flow of water and pigment to create the desired effects. Another trick is to use masking fluid, which can help preserve white areas of the paper while you paint around them. This can be useful when painting intricate details or highlights that you don't want to get painted over. The best way to improve your watercolor skills is to practice regularly. Start with simple subjects like flowers, landscapes, or even abstract compositions. As you become more comfortable with the medium, you can experiment with adding textures, shadows, and depth to your paintings. One of the most enjoyable aspects of watercolor painting is the endless variety of styles and techniques you can explore. You might decide to incorporate other materials like colored pencils or ink into your watercolor paintings for added definition and texture. Above all, remember that watercolor painting is a journey, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. Allow yourself to explore, make mistakes, and most importantly, have fun. As you continue to experiment with colors and techniques, you'll develop your own style and start to see improvement in your work. Whether you're painting for relaxation or with the goal of creating beautiful artwork, watercolor painting offers an exciting and fulfilling creative outlet for absolute beginners.